Ufaransa, that's why nimesema salamu za Ufaransa, because once at time fulani huko nyuma niliwaishi Ufaransa kidogo kwa miezi kadhaa. Yes, kupitia ndoto.
When plan? Oh,
kupitia ndoto. Ngoja information imalizike kupitia ndoto. Amwai.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
I missed you people.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
thank you so much.
From my class.
Unfortunately, Ian is not feeling well though.
Yeah.
Quick recovery, Ian. Feel better.
Ian Kitani. Well, you just say that you missed us, all right? From my class of Andrew Kibe, where nilifunzwa vizuri.
Don't you dare.
I can't say I missed you, but I will say good to see you, all right?
Okay, that is toxic. Do you
They call it toxic masculinity.
Yes, this is toxic. It's
toxic
okay to have a bro, you know, like a positive
No, we don't.
bro.
As a man, you can't say you miss someone. You say good to see you back. That means you missed him. You can't say directly, Amoy, I missed you. No, it's not allowed.
What is wrong with saying it directly?
Yeah?
What is wrong with saying it?
No, it is from my class. I have to respect my lecturer. Yeah.
Which class?
Yeah?
Where's your lecturer now?
He'd be very disappointed in your ideology.
He's in Kenya hustling.
Oh, no, he would be disappointed in your ideology.
Now, before tuanze show, before tuanze kwa story ambazo leo tumeandalia wa Kenya, ningependa niwasikie, kuna mmoja wenu ambaye ashafanya kulima. All right?
In terms of just practicing?
Yeah, kulima, kulima ya ukweli, kufuga, kukamua ng'ombe, shambani kupalilia mimea, ushawailima, haujawahi, ukweli uongo. Because today we are appreciating all the farmers in the world, because everything you guys are eating right now, matunda, machungwa, maembe, kila kitu, they are coming from wakulima.
Yeah.
And that's why today, August 6 is Farm Worker Appreciation Day, a time to honor the individual who help bring food to our table. Farm workers are essential to agriculture, often working long hours in challenging conditions. Wakati wa baridi, these guys are making sure kwamba tumepata maziwa, tumepata matunda, tumepata everything. So today, we are appreciating farmers. So prepare makofi yako.
Okay.
Makofi. Haya makofi. The 3 claps are for all the farmers worldwide. Right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ingine. Ya mwisho. Thank you. Let's go.
Very important. Very important.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Indeed. Welcome to the show.
All right. Now we have an action-packed show for you this morning on Amka Kenya, where we always give you a head start. And of course, on Politics today, our focus is on the Hustler Fund. A scathing new report failing the hustlers, sharply criticizing the government's flagship Hustler Fund initiative. Now, this morning, we get answers from the PS State Department MSME, Susan Mangeni, and yes, sir, that's what we'll be discussing today on Politics.
Now, on Vibe Check, we'll be discussing the silent epidemic, where women are trapped in relationships with unplanned or forced pregnancies, and to control them rather into submission. And our guest on this conversation will be Dr. Susan Gitau. It's interesting. It's not just in that particular context, but she'll paint a picture as to how this is happening.
Okay. Yes, mtazamaji, this morning, the following words were said by DJ Mo: fights, fumbles, and prayers, but later, bado tuko. We shall be telling you more about the famous Thika Road billboard that couples are now using to express love to their partners, or as a tool for forgiveness. Now, just to make it sure, unaelewa historia ni kwamba this famous billboard in Thika for the past 3 months imekuwa na watu watatu. Kumaanisha kwamba if you want to express love in Thika Road, all right, you have to just pay for that billboard hapo kando ya Quiver, opposite Garden City. Then you express love to your partner. This is the famous billboard of love. So from 9 a.m., I shall be having Yvonne Hisam and Tom Musembi just to let you know about this famous billboard of love in Thika Road. Imagine there was a lady called Mama Boaz some few months ago. Alika hapo kwa muda mrefu sana. So bwanake alimwekea hapo just to express love. DJ Mo and Saizet walikuwa wamekosana kwa muda mrefu. All right? Now the only way about DJ Mo ange show appreciation to Saizet was just by putting the billboard hapo who show love. Okay. So that's why they are saying hapa fights, fumbles, and prayers later. Bado tuko.
Okay, you see, I read somewhere that the long-lasting relationships are the private ones. Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong to go put someone on a billboard, but you know,
would you do that?
It is what it is.
But the reality is either
your partner.
My partner.
Would you do that?
It depends. Are we public figures, or we just doing life privately? No, we are not going to publicize one another.
But see, ako secret. How do you feature about you?
Yeah, you could.
At the end of the day, being private or being public, kuna kosana, it's a must, right?
Yeah.
Remy can tell you, and it's a fact. At the end of the day, kwamba hata uweke private mahusiano yako ama yakwe public, kukosana ni must, all right? And the thing ambayo DJ Mo anatufunza hapa siku ya leo ni kwamba no matter what, accept as a man to forgive. I mean, kunil down na kuomba msamaha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very important.
Kabisa.
All right, on Amka Alert this particular morning, corruption continues to be a persistent challenge across the nation. And a new report from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission paints a stark picture of the reality. The EACC latest survey reveals an alarming increase in corruption, with numbers rising from 57.3% in 2023 to a staggering 67.7% in 2024.
And leading the pack as the most corrupt professionals in the country, our very own police force. And that, of course, is followed by the Kenya Revenue Authority officials at 17.3%. Other professions frequently cited include chiefs, county inspectorate officers, that is, lawyers, county revenue officers, and land surveyors, that is.
Now, the Ministry of Interior was perceived as the most corrupt government ministry, cited by 47.8% of respondents. Now, it was followed by the Ministry of Health at 19.7%, where respondents claimed bribes were demanded for access to services such as the registration for the Social Health Insurance Fund.
Well, hii report ya EACC inatoa maswali mengi sana kwa Wakenya, and itakuwa vizuri sana nikiuliza wenzangu hapa Remy na Amwai. Je, ushaitoa hongo kwa polisi, because polisi wanaongoza kwa the top in the list ya EACC report. Ushaitoa hongo ile ukweli?
No, see, I've never been in a position where I have to deal with police officers directly.
All right, haujawahi. So your team ina work on that. All right. Remy, ushaitoa hongo?
Mano, so this is how I first, one of the first times when I began driving, I didn't know my rights.
Okay.
Right? I was very ignorant on some things. And I remember a police officer telling me to pull over, release my DL and all those things. And I was at a loss, and they're telling me, if you don't, well, give us, this much. So I remember my dad having told me, listen, you don't have to give everything there. Like, ask what is your mistake, what is your whatever. So when I remembered that, like I said, I was ignorant on some things, and that's the first thing I said.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I'm going to, well, what have I done wrong? Have I, gone before I lied? What have I done? And then, and I stayed there for 1.5 hours on the side of the road for a while. So my interactions have gotten better, but they didn't necessarily ask me, but it was more of an initiation to, this
it was
can
expected
be,
of you to do it.
This can be faster for you, by the way. Watch
if you just decide.
Yani wana kushow in direct ya kwamba, by the way, we have been here for the 1 hour, so I think at the end of the day you have to be open ya kwamba ni aje, hatukwambi direct kwamba utoe, lakini umekaa kwa muda mrefu, so fanya hivi uondoke, si ndio? Mtazamaji, niko na some of the a couple of feedback from Kenya in regards to this story ya EACC kutoa report, lakini the national average bribe drops from 11,625 in 2023 to 4,800 in 2024. People, they are saying, apana, that's a lie, but that's a report from EACC. Now, here are some of the comments from Kenyans in regards to the EACC report on Ofisadi. Let me just read some of them. Alafu we continue. We have a comment here this morning from Dave Mwai, who says, where are the MPs, MCAs, CECs, governors, ministers, and the entire political class? Ama politics is not a profession. That's a comment and a question from Dave Moy from that report. Now we have Overcome Evil says, no hope in Kenya. The paradigm shift. Paradigm. All right. The paradigm shift that Kenyans were hoping for in 2022 will not be achieved. Only God can save Kenya. The corruption is too much. They are saying big fish are giving themselves niliguguli jina asubuhi PPPs. Wacha nitawaambia in a few the meaning of PPPs, all right? Through process, ndio? All right, nimegoogle jina asubuhi. Wacha niwaambie meaning yake. Inaitwa public-private partnerships. Yes.
Okay, so do we move on to what you need to know this particular morning?
Yes,
well, the Auditor General has revealed that the government unlawfully collected over 1.8 billion Kenya shillings from Kenyans through the e-Citizen platform before January 2023 in violation of legal requirements on administration charges.
Now, according to the audit report that is for the financial year ending June 30th, 2024, these funds were collected as convenience fees, contrary to guidelines that mandate administrative charges be proportional to the amount paid. The report also found that additional payments were made to companies not included in the official contract for the development and maintenance of the e-Citizen platform.
Well, I have a comment here from Mo Abdi in that story. E-Citizen says, what was meant to be a getaway for efficient service delivery has turned into a digital vault for looters, streamlining theft, turning public funds into private fortunes while citizens get higher taxes and zero accountability. This is not innovation. It is institutionalization, plunder at broad-based speed. Then I have a comment here says, this is beyond alarming. A platform meant to enhance efficiency and transparency is now a center of grand theft. Over 11 billion looted under the guise of digitization. Heads must roll. Independent forensic audit is the bare minimum. That's a comment from Kenyans in regards to pesa ambazo zimepotea kupitia mfumo wa e-Citizen.
All right, now the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, in partnership with the Electoral Law and Governance Institute for Africa, ELGIA, is hosting a crucial media roundtable today. Now, the session is expected to focus on upcoming electoral activities, strategies to combat misinformation and the vital role journalists play in ensuring transparency and accountability.
Now, the roundtable aims to foster a stronger working relationship that is between the electoral body and the media as the country prepares for the future polls.
Moving on, President William Ruto has nominated Duncan Oburu Ojwang as the new chairperson of the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights. Now, this nomination follows months of rigorous selection process and will now be forwarded to Parliament for approval.
Now, this is a critical appointment given KNHCR's vital role in safeguarding human rights across the country. We'll have more on what this nomination means for the future of the Commission and human rights in Kenya.
Well, now, this story since in Australian Z, let me now try and read it. Now, in a major move to enforce its community guidelines, TikTok has revealed it has moved more than 450,000 videos from its platform in Kenya in the first quarter of this year. The company's report released yesterday also indicates that over 43,000 accounts were banned from violation, ranging from misinformation and hate speech to threats of violence. This comes amid ongoing discussion and concerns about content moderation and social media platforms and their impact on public safety. We'll have more details on the report and what it means for Kenyan users. That is from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Amka Trend Talks. Now, let's have a bant on this story here, TikTok. Now, you guys, mshaingia usiku, all right? TikTok, mkapata those videos na kwanga live. Mshaiona?
Yeah.
Kwanza saa 8 usiku. Don't ask me why I always get on TikTok usiku. But when you get to usiku TikTok saa 8, I mean those videos zinakuanga mbaya. Kenyans wanatumia that platform in a bad way. So I think that move to ban those accounts na kupull 450,000 videos down, it was a good move. Remy?
You believe so? So some people will argue differently because I think... I don't know if it cuts across or some people that have been genuinely using the platform for good are also actually being affected in regards to that. But so it was chaotic some time back. I don't know about recently, but some time back it was a little bit chaotic, especially during the night. You didn't want to do that.
I have not seen those lives.
And we have a comment here says TikTok's removal of thousands of Kenyans' videos and accounts highlights a worrying trend of moral decay in our digital spaces.
Okay.
It reflects a growing disregard for decency, especially among youth, and signals the urgent need to restore societal values both online and offline. That's a comment from Bing Charlie on Twitter.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, the leadership crisis in Siaya County has taken a new turn. Now, Deputy Governor William Odul has now formally proposed a truce and structured dialogue with Governor James Orengo, whose whereabouts have been a subject of public speculation for weeks.
Now, Odul's call is aimed at ending the leadership vacuum and governance challenges that he says are crippling service delivery in the county. We have the latest on this developing story. And with that, of course...
Kabisa.
You want to take the question?
Yes, I'll be having to move to the other side. Before that I move, let me just pose this question to Kenyans this morning. You can be part of this amazing conversation. Maji tumie feedback yako. Na swali la siku, being on a beautiful Wednesday, tunakuuliza, Have you benefited from the Hustler Fund? Mtazamaji, je, ushawahi faidika kwa njia moja ama nyingine kupitia pesa hizi za Hustler Fund? Tuambie this morning kupitia hashtag that is on Twitter kila mahali, that is Amka Kenya. Pia utupigie simu live na kupa nafasi kipekee ndani ya K24 Amka Kenya show. Utupigie simu this morning utuambie, have you benefited from the Hustler Fund? Ni pesa ambazo Wakenya wengi inadaiwa kwamba kuna idadi ya Wakenya hawajaweza kulipa ile pesa ya Hustler Fund, na kuna wengine kwamba wameweza kuregesha zile pesa baada ya kukopa. Lakini jana tulikuwa na hiyo story katika gazeti la People Daily, waliweza kuhighlight that story na tukaona the response ya PS Susan Mangeni in regards to this story ya Wakenya ambao wameweza kukopa na kuregesha idadi ya kila siku. Na labda niweze kuuliza wenzangu, that is Brian Amoy, from the encounter yako na marafiki zako, wenye washaikopa, out of 10 of your friends, ni wangapi ambao walikopa hii pesa ya Hustler Fund?
Okay.
Usema jina, just say kwa hao marafiki zako 10, ni wangapi ambao walikopa hii pesa? Manake they are saying kuna wengine hawakuregesha.
Yeah.
They are saying kuna pia idadi ambao waliregesha.
Okay.
All right.
So technically sijui kama wale wenye walichukua washarudisha before, because initially when it started you see there was that opposition faction that said kopeni ni pesa yenu na msirudishe.
Yeah.
So there's that faction of my friends that believed it was their right to take that money and not pay back. So I don't know whether they have paid back in the spirit of broad-based government right now. But initially back then I know quite a couple of people that had taken that money. I don't know.
Well, Remy, what about on your side?
I don't feel no. Yeah.
All right. Mtazamaji, remember Remy kidogo
do you know if you're eligible for that particular fund? Have you ever tried? You never. You don't know whether you're going to be given 500 or 700 or so you have no interest whatsoever of starting a business and supporting the getting employment.
No, I have all those. I am a Kenyan who has all the dreams and visions just like anyone else.
But the Hustler Fund is what you don't want to finance that business.
No, not that I don't want it to finance that business. I have also looked at other ways I can do business.
Okay. But one thing I want to appreciate before
it doesn't mean I see what you're doing, Brian.
Before we even engage our guests this morning, before we even engage our guests on this story, Hustler Fund, I want to appreciate the government because of the consistency in sending message ya kulipa. All right. They have been very consistent. Make sure you pay. I mean, nilikopa 2,000 from last year, but I'll be paying it today. All right. Now they have been very consistent. After every 2 days wananikumbusha makofi kwao.
Yeah. No, wewe utapiga makofi, sisi hatupigi makofi.
I'll pay today.
All right, it is time for Amka to the Viral, and we are taking a look at what you're waking up to as far as newspapers are concerned. We'll start with the People Daily. Top story on the People Daily is Maraga war on Ruto armed with Bible. Also, another story making headlines is Uhuru's Jubilee in first strategy ahead of the 2027 polls, a story on page 7. And TV journalist doubles his newsroom prowess with white gold farming, a story on page 15. Right, Remy, where do we go from here?
Right, so I want to introduce our guest this morning who will, of course, help us analyze and make sense of the stories on our dailies. And his name is Ken Babu. He is Youth Chair, United Opposition. Ken, asante sana kwa kuja.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. And just appreciate MediaMax and all of you guys for having me here again.
Okay. We're happy to have
we are
you
glad
here.
to have you back. Listen, the last time you were here, you were the youth, national youth leader, DAPK. Today you are Youth Chair, United Opposition. What happened?
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
All those parties you're mentioning are part of the United Opposition. And there must be direction.
Is this a promotion for Ken Babu?
There must be always direction.
Okay.
And the young people within the coalition have agreed in one accord that I give them that direction.
All right.
Okay.
So you are voted as...
Exactly.
Okay.
So we are pushing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome to the program this morning. We start with what particular story are we looking at?
Yes, let's begin on the front page story, what you've just read, Maraga war on Ruto armed with Bible. There's a picture there of former CJ David Maraga, and it says, unlike his rival, former CJ is a political greenhorn, making his first stab at elective politics with his unexpected candidature as he has stirred the waters, that is. So this story is on page 4. And Ken, I'd like us to look into it because it highlights his whole essence, his particular campaign style, which has been, of course, compared to that of former U.S. President Barack Obama, him being different, and mostly we remember him from 2017 when, he did his thing, as many would say, with the elections back then.
Okay.
And,
And even before we engage, Ken, I believe his mic seemed to have dropped. I think we are going to be fixing that in a minute. And of course, just like you're saying, that in 2017, he is the man that actually, nullified the presidential elections in 2017, becoming the first actually in the continent to actually do that. So it was very historic at that particular time. And in most cases, this is what is being cited as because at that particular time he was now the face of a very independent judiciary that did not have political influence and all that. And now when people are campaigning for Maraga, most of them are going back to what he did in 2017 and say, okay, this is the man to watch.
Yeah.
Ken Babu.
It feels upright with that particular notion.
Yeah, Maraga stands out. In Kenya, we voted largely on history. And you've mentioned something that happened in 2017, which stands out till now, because nothing has happened close to that, after that time. And Maraga is the first CJ to have nullified an election, presidential election, and you saw the crisis and the tensions that were there at that time. I think he stands a chance to put his best feet forward, to compete, but Kenyan politics elects familiarity and many other things. If you listen to people, if you ask questions outside there, people, their perspective about Maraga's candidacy, they'll tell you he's a good man, but he's yet to give the energy that people are used to.
What is that energy? What is that energy that he should be having?
The energy, the energy. You see, our politics is used to shouts and chaos and people, when they stand up, people are...
Is it too soft? He's too soft?
I'm not talking about insult, but if a politician walks in, there's a way in which the public responds. Recently, Maraga was submitting a petition here at the office of Inspector General. And it was like a normal thing happening. And it was like Ken Babu is submitting a petition. As compared to if Raila Odinga was submitting that petition. In fact, tensions could have started from Kawangware. By the time he arrives here, it's chaotic and everybody's running.
Kwa maoni yako, katika nafasi ya Maraga kumuondoa Ruto kama rais 2027, upole wake utamcost?
I'm not saying that, but I can say he's doing well. And in going forward, as we are looking at changing the dynamics and the operations of politics in Kenya, Maraga still stands out. But we must know that we are dealing with people who have voted in terms of chaos and, aura, you see, for the longest time, since 1963. That's the normal politics. So you take more energy from Maraga to transform that into something else.
The public says they want a leader like him because of the issue-based politics. We are used to personality-based politics, like you said.
But we've been doing issue-based politics until somebody gets in the office. How did Ruto come to power?
But it's still personality.
It was an issue around Hustler and Dynasty. And his campaign's line was, hustlers, I want to transform your lives. I want to lift you from down to...
But what you're saying, it highlights the personality behind the issue. Because even if they're propagating whatever, manifestos with, saying what they'll do for the country, you're also looking at the person saying this. So like Raila joining, this particular, the handshake with this particular government, it's personality.
Yeah, that's why I say, see, Maraga, Kalonzo, Eugene Wamalwa, people like George Natembea, you see, they more or less have similar personality. There are people who come slow. You get? They come slow. But if you look at somebody like you've mentioned, Raila, Ruto, there are people who are, they come with a lot of energy and force and everything. Okay. And Kenyans are saying that we want a calm president. We want somebody who can restore sanity in this country. Okay. We want somebody who can take us back to where we can sit down and have conversations. All right. And that person is not in William Ruto.
Okay, I want to...
He cannot be found in William Ruto.
It's time for us to take a break here on Amka Kenya. Of course, we will continue with our conversation when we come back here with our guest, that is Ken Babu, who is the youth leader, United Opposition. Right.